become the perfect storm for a variety of reasons. The large population growing at an unprecedented rate to the point of the population is expected to double within a matter of 20 years or so, to the massive unemployment problems, over 40% unemployment and 75% or so underemployment. As these things have been developing, unfortunately, assistance to the country and attention to some of their problems, both domestically from their internal focus and from neighboring countries and the international community, has wavered. I think perhaps a few years ago there might have been a way to get it off the path that it's on now, and unfortunately it was not prioritized as such, and so it fell through the cracks. And it has gotten to the point where it's further down the path towards state failure. While there are some similarities, it's a tenuous connection in a lot of ways. The history of the country is very different. The political roots of the country are very different, and frankly, the way we're going to have to engage the country is very different as well. And yet, I think there is as much reason to be concerned for Al-Qaida in the Arabian Peninsula as we may have been concerned for, Al-Qaida, as we would call Al-Qaida Central in Afghanistan from a decade ago. They have established themselves as the new brand of Al-Qaida in the region, and they have expanded their strategic focus beyond Yemen, beyond even neighboring Saudi Arabia. And their the rhetoric and the propaganda and the way they're trying to expand their relevance beyond just Yemen. And the strategic focus has been shifting, but so too has their recruitment, their use of propaganda, their media campaigns. Even this summer, coming out with an online magazine that is written in English to target non-Arabic speaking, non-Yemen-based potential recruits. And so I think this sophistication and their ability to gain support both from Yemeni-based tribes and non-Yemeni-based individuals is a cause for concern and something that we need to focus attention on. There are conflicting reports about the organization within Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and the power struggles that have gone on even before recent reports, but predating their emergence as the new regional power, sort of conflict between an older generation of Al-Qaeda and the newer generation led by Nasser al-Wahishi. And it's still a bit unclear. I mean, there have been reports that they do have a division of labor, a very organized structure, and it's made them able to withstand recent attacks and arrests. Reports indicate that from an operational perspective, Al-Qaeda in Central, Al-Qaeda in the Fata region of Pakistan has been at least operationally marginalized. From a strategic, ideological perspective, they're still relevant for the messaging of the Al-Qaeda brand and for recruiting and propaganda. But from an operational targeting perspective, to some degree, we've seen success. I guess you could say the success of Western efforts there, and they've been marginalized. That's not as true with Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. So from a tactical perspective and from where might the next threat come from, I do think the focus is shifting to Yemen, and rightly so. We're hoping to find one discrete answer, and the problems have gotten to the point in Yemen where that's just not possible anymore. If we take a purely security-focused approach, and especially if it's an overt security-focused approach, by that I mean U.S.-led counter-terrorism operations, boots on the ground, things of that, there's a significant chance of having a major backlash and, in fact, increasing Al-Qaeda's recruiting potential there and supporting their recruitment cause and things of that nature. Currently, there's on the order of 300,000 internally displaced persons in Yemen, in addition, almost 200,000 African refugees in the south, according to a summer report from the UN, 170,000 of whom are Somalis. So now you have flows coming in from the south, internally displaced persons in the north from the Houthi rebellion and such, and a socioeconomic situation and a government situation in which the Yemenis are not able to handle this problem themselves. The Saudis have been concerned about movement of persons across their borders for years now, and have placed great efforts, time and money to building fences and dealing with immigrants and smugglers and criminals who are coming across the borders. I think the last data I saw was in 2008, over 65,000 illegal immigrants and smugglers, most of whom were Yemeni, were arrested coming across the borders in just, a few months' time. And this concern is only increasing. That will likely be the first source of conflict. We've already seen reports come out of crimes being committed and murders being committed based on, the root cause of shortage and fights breaking out over how wells are being dug and where the aquifers are being used. Sana'a is expected to be the first capital in the world to run out of water, and there is, as of yet, no effective strategy from the government, from Yemeni's government, in terms of how to manage water resources and address the problem. The oil problem is affecting the government's budget and the government's ability to pay off tribes, fulfill bribes, maintain and fund both the war in the north, the secession movements against the secessionists in the south, and the fight against Al-Qaida. But the water issue is something that's affecting the people on the ground and Yemeni citizens on a daily basis. The government has had an uphill battle. I think corruption and patronage and history of even so far as co-opting Al-Qaida and gentlemen's agreements between the government and Al-Qaida a few years ago. I do think that there has to be political reforms taken on. At the moment, both the security situation and the economic situation and description of the country makes it not very high on any tourist list of destinations. I do think that is going to take years to overcome, unfortunately, despite the fact that there have been some efforts by GCC countries to build hotels and destination resorts in, it's a very early stages, but in some areas of the country, I think, unfortunately, it will remain an undiscovered tourist destination for some time until the security situation improves.